I agree with our Democrat colleagues that we have to focus on the victims of crime. And boy, did we get an earful from some of them in Manhattan earlier this week. And what I heard from victims from crime is that they observe the soft on crime policies pushed by Democrats as far more dangerous than law-abiding gun owners who work to keep our communities safe. One of our witnesses even talked about being a good guy with a gun, being somebody able to provide for self-defense and the righteous defense of others. And I heard in that hearing a term I had never heard before from the Democrat witness, a crime gun. So I guess there are guns and crime guns. And I was left wondering, what makes a gun a crime gun? And I think it's that it's in the hands of a criminal committing a crime. The very criminals that Democrats seem quite willing to turn out on our streets time and time again. We heard the Democrat witness at a joint hearing between the Judiciary Committee and the Oversight Committee, invited by Democrats, say that these braces make guns more powerful and more lethal, and it was the laugh line of the hearing and summarily rejected by experts. But what this rule proves is that the Biden administration and Democrats are intent to weaponize the ATF in order to erode the Second Amendment and take away constitutional rights from otherwise law-abiding Americans, and they intend to do so without the approval of Congress.
Gentleman yield.
And what undermines the passion for my Democrat colleagues is that when they had the ability to do this in law, when they had unified control of the government, they didn't do it. And so when they really come for your rights, and when they really want to erode the Constitution, they don't do it with folks who can be sent home by the voters. They do it with unelected bureaucrats with green eye shades somewhere in some windowless cubicle in the bowels of the ATF.
The gentleman yield.
The ATF has abused its rulemaking authority in attempting to regulate stabilizing braces, and these braces were invented by Alex Brosco, a U.S. Marine Corps and Army veteran, to help disabled combat veterans better control and safely fire guns at shooting ranges. I represent many of these disabled veterans in my district, and I can tell you the extent to which the opportunity to engage in competitive shooting is a mental health enhancer. It's what keeps people engaged. I worry about the number of veteran suicides we may see increase at an already totally unacceptable level if we were to take this away and take this mental health tool away. The ATF's decision also contradicted its own prior 2012 determination made during the Obama administration, not known as particularly kind to gun owners. And that was a decision that was relied upon by gun owners for a decade, that they would not be subject to the National Firearms Control Act with the purchase of this stabilizing brace. Now the ATF's rule will require the owners of roughly 40 million stabilizing braces in circulation to obtain some special registration, surrender or destroy their brace by the compliant state, or face severe criminal penalties. And what I can tell you is these will be enforced. I am increasingly aware of circumstances in my district where almost anyone involved in the firearms industry, they are seeing the ATF show up with crazy demands and enforcement that goes beyond what we would normally consider from a government agency simply trying to seek compliance. My friends, this is part of a comprehensive attack on the Second Amendment, and this legislation would vindicate at least those who require this stabilizing brace. And while we all share the desire to reduce the frequency of gun violence, there is no evidence to suggest that these stabilizing braces contribute to it. And it is rather rich that we're now hearing from our Democrat colleagues about the stabilizing braces, because when there was legislation that they proposed that they couldn't get passed in the Senate, they told us that stabilizing braces could convert weapons into bump stocks. And what a revealing moment that was.